No, no. What comes up for you when you hear the word no? Is it rejection? Is it failure? I believe that when you receive a no from a potential client in your business, that there's actually a lesson to be learned. They are actually giving you a lesson on how to make your business better. And hopefully you've been listening. Let's talk about it here on episode 30. Stay tuned. Giving architects and landscape architects the tools and strategies to be seen, heard, and valued in the marketplace, and telling the stories of leaders building thriving design firms and attracting their ideal clients. This is From Architecture to Profitecture. I'm your host, Jay Krakowski. Let's get started. Fellow and future Profitex, hello, how are you? Welcome to the show today. We are talking about two very simple letters. N-O, no. Now, this no, it may not be an overt client turning you down per se. It may be that somebody visits your website and maybe doesn't move on to the next step. It may be that you go through a concept or a feasibility process and it doesn't move forward into detailed design documents. But whatever the case it may be, how have you been accepting those no's in your business? We're specifically talking about business today, and we'll dig into how you're marketing your design firm as well. But are you taking that? Are you taking it personally as the first thing to start with, or are you taking it more objectively? And we're going to dig into the different facets of where a no may come into your business and what it says if you are either getting a lot of them or if you're not getting many, if any, at all. Now, just as an aside, if you're a parent, you may hear the word no all the time, and it may be you may be numb to it. You may have blocked it out completely, or it may just be your common language, as is my case with these two munchkins. These are my two boys, where dinners often devolve into wearing napkins on heads and not eating your vegetables, and it sounds a lot more like this. No, 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 no. Well, if you're a fellow parent and design professional like me, you hear the word probably a lot more than you'd like to hear, but it's actually important to tune your ears into the word no in your business. And we're going to dig right into why and how it relates to how you present yourself in your niche, how you have niche down, as they say. If you are hearing no, it's actually a good thing, because those potential clients that are coming into contact with you, whether that's on the web, whether that's in your social media, whether that's through a referral and an initial conversation, if you have dialed in your niche, if you have identified the locales and the markets and the types of projects that you like to work on and have explained those, have used the correct language to get those niches or get that niche across, well, you're saving yourself all kinds of time. You're saving yourself time that can be used to serve the clients that you already have or that are in your pipeline, or you can use that time to make other changes in your business, to further your marketing efforts, to create additional streams of income, or to reassess your staff and your systems and processes to make the services that you deliver even better. Now, what happens if you're not hearing no enough? If you're not hearing no, if you're getting calls about all kinds of random projects from, the smallest, in my case, the smallest, garage additions or bathroom updates through, municipalities or education. If you're getting all kinds of calls and you're fielding them all, you're taking them all in, you're not being discreet about who you meet with, who you speak with, what kind of projects that you go after, well, I think you need to ask yourself, have you clearly defined your niche? Have you defined your zone of genius, as they say, and identified the projects that light you up the most, the projects that you most want to work on? And if you're not getting enough no's, again, they may not be overt, in your face no's, but rather, people calling and sending you emails versus clicking away from your website or not getting in contact with you? Have you defined your niche well enough? Now let's move on to messaging. The messaging that goes into your online content, be it on your website or on your social media, or yes, in your quote unquote elevator speech as you're networking, as we are allowed to do a little face-to-face networking, or you're doing it over Zoom. Is your messaging dialed in enough to get across not only the types of projects that you want to work on, but the types of people that you want to work with? And if you're getting a fair amount of no's, well, that's a good thing, because potential clients have looked at your information, or they've gotten a chance to know you, whether that's in person or virtually, direct to camera like this, or even on videos on your website or social media. And if they can already sense that you're not the best fit for them, well, they've saved you time, they've saved you potential headaches, they've saved you efforts there, again, that we can reinvest into our businesses, into our existing clients, or even outside of the business, into our families and our friends and our hobbies and all that good stuff. Now, if you're not getting any no's on your messaging, if your messaging is so vanilla, if it's merely a list of services and is not truly providing the message of the change you want to see in the world, or the values that you hold as a person and as a design professional, and again, you're getting calls from everyone. You're getting all the tire kickers and the price shoppers because you haven't clearly identified your ideal client, your target market. If you're not hearing any no's, or you're not hearing no enough, I would contest that that's actually a bad thing. And you need to ask yourself, is your messaging truly dialed in to where you are putting the message forth in the world to say, this is what I stand for, this is what I do, this is the type of work that I like to do, and the type of people that we like to work with. And then the layer on top of that is in terms of marketing, your overall marketing of your firm. If you are hearing a lot of no's, that's actually a good thing, because you're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there as an individual, as a design professional, and as a firm, potentially as a leader in your industry, in your market, in your space. And to paraphrase a great podcast, I believe it's from last week, from Brooke Castillo in the Life Coach School, more offers means more yeses, but it also means more no's. And the sign that your business is rising and improving and evolving is when all three are going up. Yes, maybe you're getting more projects and you're able to bring in more staff, but you're also gaining the ability, or just the circumstance of turning more clients away. You saying no to them. That's the level that we all want to get to, I think, is to be able to cherry pick the projects that we work on. And are you making enough offers? Are you putting yourself out there in the marketplace to get more no's, to hear that no thank you more and more and more? So this is gonna be a real quick episode, but I just wanted to touch on those three: niche, messaging, and marketing. And how many times are you hearing no? Or have you not quite dialed in your marketing and your messaging and your niche to where it's out there as vanilla? And unfortunately, when it's out there as just vanilla and not a good flavor of ice cream, mint chocolate chips, my favorite. If you're only out there as vanilla, then unfortunately you are seen as a commodity. And it's such a pervasive discussion in our industries, whether you're a landscape architect like myself, or an architect, or interior designer, or graphic designer, or what have you. Putting out marketing and messaging that's vanilla is not serving us. And it's not serving us to A, get the projects we want, B, get the clients we want, and C, get the fees that we want. So your takeaway for this episode is to start practicing, start getting comfortable with the word no, and that it's actually a good thing. And that whenever a potential client says no to you, again, whether that's explicitly or implicitly or silently, there's a lesson to be learned there. And how are you dialing into those lessons? How are you taking those lessons and improving your social media presence? How are you improving your web presence? How are you improving your networking skills and your on-camera skills, or your podcasting skills, as it were? or your general skills as a design professional? Are there things about the delivery of your design process that can be improved? And how does somebody saying no, or even that didn't go well, how are you taking that and making improvements in your business? I'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas for future episodes, go ahead and send me a direct message at Jake Krakowski, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. I'd also love it if you hopped over to Apple Podcasts and left a review, a good one, I hope. Leave me a review. I'd love to know your thoughts on the show, and it also helps to get the show out there and spread the word on how we can improve our marketing and our messaging and our niching down, as it were, to build stronger businesses and become better design professionals. And so until next week, in the next episode, make it a great week, because our success is inevitable. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you stay up to date with future episodes. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Jake Krakowski. And for show notes and much more, visit profitecturebydesign.com/podcast.